What's up, guys? Today we're talking about triceps. So whether you want a strong bench, you want bigger arms, triceps are going to be very important. So the triceps can be worked anytime we're doing some sort of elbow extension. So it's the opposite of a curl. So curling is going to be more elbow flexion. Anytime you're extending the elbow, and you're getting load through that position. So we want to make sure that the load is opposing the joint angle. So if you're like me sometimes we like to use a little bit too much weight, right? So I want you guys to watch this, or you can watch me too. So I'm sure sometimes we see people do triceps like this, and I do triceps like this sometimes. But a good rule of thumb when we're doing cable work, no matter if you're doing triceps or not, think about where the cable wants to pull you. So if I'm getting a good lean here, I am working my tricep, but the cable wants to pull me into shoulder flexion. So I'm also going to be working my lats quite a bit in that position. So if I'm trying to isolate my tricep, getting a really big lean like that maybe is not the best thing. Now if I want to get some lat work and some tricep work at the same time, and you want to use a little bit more weight, and your goal is maybe not necessarily to stimulate your tricep fully, then doing something like this would be fine. But just realize that holding this position here, I'm really opposing shoulder flexion, so I'm really working my shoulder extensors, which would be my lats. So if I want to really get a better isolation out of just my tricep, I'd want to get more directly under the weight. So here, it's really just pulling me into elbow flexion. And if you notice, we're using the strap here. This is Jim Smith sells these, Diesel Strength. It's something that we actually worked on a little bit. I gave him some feedback. So you want something with either a longer rope, or you can use 2 ropes. A lot of times the short ropes are not going to accommodate your body as much, especially the bigger guys. So you might need to use 2 ropes, things like that. But if we're looking for elbow extension, we want to come here, and we want to try and get a full range of motion. So I'm just trying to move my elbow and not internally rotate or bend my wrists and things like that. You can kind of hold it like this, you can hold it a bunch of different ways, but something where you can split it and spread. So we're staying nice and upright and trying to focus on contraction at the top. So let's try that. Otis, you can kneel and do it. So by having this directly under the lifter, it's going to be a little bit more isolation of the tricep and kind of take the lats out of it a little bit more. So we want to just try to focus on just the elbows extending, pulling the chest up, split the rope as you come down, hold for a second and up slow. So again, slow eccentrics, some pauses are going to help increase time under tension. Let's do that again. Hold. So you can see he's got good, you feel that, Otis, here? Good tricep engagement at the bottom. And come back up slow. Let's do it again. You can do these 1 arm, you can do these 2 arm. Good, again. You can do these with a band as well. Good, and relax. Nice job. So other options that you could do tricep extensions on the ground, you can do tricep extensions on a bench. We're going to show tricep extensions on the ground today, so you can slide down on the floor. Let's just face this way, so. Okay. Just come up. And then we're going to come back down to here. Okay, so right now the weight is trying to pull Otis into elbow flexion, so this is a good opposition of the movement. We can drive the weights up. We want to make sure we're not rotating with the shoulders too much, so this is a good free weight extension. And come back down. At the top, we're not getting too much activation, so we want to spend a little bit more time in the bottom. And come up. If we want to make it a little bit more challenging, we can kind of come a little bit further back down to the floor. A little tight in there. So a little bit more of a stretch. Trying to keep the elbows in and just push up from here. Go. So now, since we're further away, it's going to be a little bit more tension. If we kind of bring it a little bit more overhead, come back down. Touch the floor, come up. Try and keep his elbows in if you can. Good. Again. And come up. Again. Good. So let's try and keep those elbows in and just press from here. So these are some different variations you could do for a tricep extension. You could do these on a bench, you could do these on the floor. You can dead stop them, you can do slow eccentrics, and you can relax. Good, nice job. So those are some different tricep extension variations. Something like a kickback is a good example of, so like right here, if I was doing a kickback, it's gravity wants to pull me into shoulder flexion. So it's like, again, another example, not like the best tricep exercise because you're not really getting a lot of load. I would need something if I had a cable this way and I was pushing through, that'd be a better tricep exercise. Always ask yourself, is it opposing the joint action and is it resisted in that plane of motion, okay? So is it actually resisting elbow flexion and is it resisting, extension, and is it actually pulling me into flexion? So those are some things you want to do when you're trying to attack the triceps, and it's just good general advice when you're looking at isolation movements and am I actually targeting the muscle that I want to. Again, other general advice, use some slow eccentrics, use some pauses, make sure you have a good mind-muscle connection, and that's a great way to build some bigger arms. So that's our video for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.